And welcome to Earth and Sky. Thanks for joining in. If you would, please, when you get a chance, like our Facebook page at Earth and Sky Center. And also on YouTube, if you go to our YouTube, Earth and Sky Center, if you hit the subscribe button and then the little bell, and that way you'll get notifications. And it's actually quite easy to get notifications on mobiles and stuff like that, so it actually works out better, I find. So today, we're going to be talking a little bit about motivation. Now, we've talked about this before, but last time we talked about it, I thought we fell a little bit short in the sense that when we were chatting about it, Angela and I, when we were talking about it, we kind of went in a different direction because I think specifically for Angela, you'll find that she is one of the most driven people I've ever met. And when she does what she does, she can feel worse than I'm pretty sure anybody that will ever watch this video feels, and she feels it on a daily basis. And for her world, to get up, to walk, to function is traumatic pretty much every day, and she does it, and she still plans stuff every day and every minute of every day, and she has things to do and places to go and people to interact with. And I have to say, she's amazing that way. And I find, I think a lot of people, they're not quite as motivated as she is. And so I think the perception that she has, I think, is a little different than I think what a lot of people have as far as what it takes to get motivated. One of the things that's funny with motivation itself that I think it's really helpful to remember is that motivation is, I find motivation is more about, that gets you started. And so motivation is getting you started, but you don't have to do that for too long. Once you get yourself motivated to do something, just a few times, and it starts to become habit. And then you have to get motivated to do it because it's a habit. And so the idea of getting yourself motivated, a lot of times in a new task, whether it's going to the gym or eating different foods or starting a major project, the overwhelming thing I think a lot of the time with getting motivated is it's that first step. It's the idea of this huge thing that I have to do this over and over again. I have to, it's that big long thing, but it's not. The motivation part is just right there at the beginning. And once you get motivated, once you get started with just that beginning, then the next time you come back to it, it's not as hard as it was the first time. And then the next time it's easier, and then it becomes a habit, and then it's not about getting motivated anymore, it's just following a habit, which we're really good at as human beings. But so I'm going to discuss a little bit about, I think, the things that I think could hopefully help people get motivated, at least that there are things that I find, for me, whether it's keeping up with her, or if it's, stuff that I need to get done that I really are not quite there, being that most of the things, my whole life is about me doing them in my mind. I mean, I'm one of those people, I absolutely take responsibility for all of the stuff in my life. I don't have a boss that sits there, I have to go and say, and I don't walk up to the boss and say, hey, what do you want me to do? And I don't, there's not all of that. I do all of it. That's me. My choices, my ideas, my plan, whatever I feel like. And so with that, motivation at times really can slack for me. And so the things that I've kind of put together that help me get motivated are things. Now, first off, for people that are trying to get motivated in something, in a direction in their life, or a project, or whatever it is that they're trying to do, the first thing you have to do is you have to figure out what is it specifically that you can get yourself motivated with. So do you get motivated when you have rewards for something? Because we've done stuff that we haven't wanted to do before, but we've done them. And so when you do them, what made it worth it? Was it the reward, something afterwards? Was it, sometimes people do better, you get a reward before, and then, well, I got that, so I guess I have to do this, And so, but everybody knows that there's these things that will help them get up and get started for things. So is it a conversation with somebody while you're doing it? Is it Is it a break in the middle where you get a reward? It's, everybody has their own little ways of getting something that will get them up and get them rolling. And so, I mean, we all have something, no matter how much we don't want to do something. I mean, we get motivated, let's say, for food. If you want to lay there all day and you decide, I'm not going to do anything all day, eventually you're going to get hungry enough, you're going to get up. There's something that will drive you to do something. Whether, you know what I mean, you can get motivated, you can move forward. And so, but it's a matter of finding those things that matter to you. The people involved, the rewards that go with it. Sometimes if you don't do it, if you give yourself something that's negative, a negative consequence can be very driving for people. Now, getting yourself to follow through with that negative thing is a necessity if you're going to get motivated to do it sometimes. But then you have to, and then you have to do it. And once you do that thing, once you actually get up and get started, you have to know for a fact you're going to get the reward. Or if you don't do it, you're going to get the punishment, or however you want to look at it. And so that's what the motivating part always comes down to. There has to be a reason for doing it, but it really comes down to you have to convince yourself to do it. You have to want to get that accomplished. Like for me, if there's something I don't want to do, and in honesty, I know I don't want to do it to the point that I don't want to do it. To fight against that is insanity, because you're not going to do it. I mean, if you know you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it. But if you absolutely convince yourself that you are going to do it, it will get done. I mean, everything from I go back to the thing that with Robert Downey Jr. said when they were talking to him on Oprah one time about he had been on heavy drugs and he'd gone through rehab, and he was on Oprah, and so she asked him, how did you get off of it? Wasn't it really, really hard? And he said, no, quitting, I think it was heroin, or I don't know, it was a heavy drugs, I think. He was like, quitting it really wasn't that hard. The hardest thing was making the choice to do it. And I just went, that's what it is. And everything in life, whether it's starting a project, kicking a drug habit, stopping smoking, changing the way you talk to people, changing the way you approach the day, it all comes down to deciding in your subconscious, making that decision, convincing yourself this is how it's going to be. And once you truly believe it, once you convince yourself, once you are absolutely sure that's how it's going to be, it just happens. Because we are so powerful with our mind. But once we make that decision to get started, once we make that decision to accomplish this, once we make that decision to do things in a certain way, whatever it is, it will happen. That changes your entire how you approach things. It changes who you are and how you live this life. And so, but making those decisions, making those subconscious rules that you live by, that's the hard part. And so, but once you do it, it will happen. You will manage to get through. You will start. You will accomplish whatever it is that you want. But it does have to be something that you've considered. It's important enough to make that decision. And so that's what it comes down to, is you either have to reward yourself to get started, get in trouble with yourself if you don't, and but you just make that decision. And I think most people, I think when you go, I want to do X, I want to get to the gym, I want to go do the thing, I don't want to eat those foods. And when you say that, I think most people can go, but I'm still going to do it. You can look in the back of your mind. I shouldn't do that, but I'm going to do it. I really shouldn't do that, but I'm going to do it. Or no, I really want to do that, but I know I'm not going to. I really should go to the gym. I'm not going to do it. But I really want to tomorrow, maybe, which means I'm not going to do it. But then that one time when you go, I get so much reward, I'll feel so much better, and you convince yourself, and you realize, and you go, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym. And it just is. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do it 3 times a week. And suddenly, you get up, and you go to the gym and you do it 3 times a week because you made that decision. But you have to make that decision, and that's the deciding factor of if you're going to get it done or not. And I think hopefully that will help some people get motivated to do things like hit the like on our Earth and Sky Center webpage, or maybe if you're on YouTube, or if you're not on YouTube, you get on YouTube and hit the subscribe button on our Earth and Sky Center YouTube. And other than that, I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a really great day.